Hello, my name is Tracy Tabor, and I just wanted to share some of the things that I use when I shoot in full sun. So, for me personally, we have a lot of clouds here in Michigan, which actually is one of the reasons why a lot of these photos are pulled from last year. We have not had very much full sun yet for me to get the opportunity to shoot in. But there is a lot of things that happen in full sun, and we want to make sure that we're capturing those moments, even though the lighting is not ideal or what we generally think of as ideal lighting. But I think that the trick is to change your mentality about what we're trying to capture in full sun. And there are quite a few things that are fun and different, and ways that we can be creative when we shoot in full sun, to make it lots of fun and to make it so that we're still trying to capture those moments. And one of the things I try to remember is that we're not here to shoot portraits in the full sun. This is not the ideal lighting to try to get a picture of your kids smiling at the camera for your Christmas card. This is good lighting for capturing details, for capturing beautiful skies, for capturing fun play in the water, for capturing reflections and shadows and things like that, for capturing your kids, playing on the beach and the things that they always do when it's sunny outside that maybe aren't going to end up, poster size above your mantle, but that are memories that we want to capture nonetheless. So I just wanted to go over a couple of things with examples. One thing that you can do when you're shooting in full sun is make sure that your subject is not looking directly at the sun. So here, my daughter, we were at Freighter Beach. And I just wanted to capture how small she was compared to those giant freighters that were going by as we were playing on the beach. And this one worked out nicely because you can see she is facing away from the sun a little bit. And this does cast a shadow on her face, but we can lift that up a little bit in Lightroom. And we also wanted to make sure when we shot this that my blinkies were on my camera, and if your camera is capable of those blinkies, those are great. And what they do is they will blink on your LCD screen when you are blowing out a highlight or clipping a black. So when we're shooting in full sun, we really want to make sure that we're not blowing out any highlights, especially not on our subject. I know people are kind of across the board about, if it's blown out in an area that's not important, I don't worry too much about it. I try to worry about it. Sometimes it's difficult, but especially not on your subject. You want to make sure that these highlights are not blown that are on her shoulder. All right, I just need to find the other photo. Another thing we can think about doing when we're shooting in full sun is work more on shooting for story. So here we were at the blueberry field, and I'm not trying to get in close again for a portrait. I'm just shooting these blueberry patches in the rows. I love this tree line here in the back. This is a blueberry patch we go to every year that's nearby us, and this beautiful blue sky. So shooting more for the story and not trying to capture, a beautiful face. Let me see. I wanted to share this one with you. Another thing that's fun in full sun is capturing those beautiful skies. This day in this photo was those skies were just beautiful. Those big puffy white clouds were awesome. And so I wanted to make sure I captured those, and I worked more on, the story, which was she's now on this big 16-inch instead of 12-inch bike. So I got really low to the ground. I think my camera was actually on the ground and shot straight up to capture those beautiful fluffy white clouds in the sky. And also capturing details in the full sun is another great idea. It's another great way to not necessarily try to be shooting a portrait in the full sun, but to still capture what's going on with your family during those important, middle of the day, middle of the summer adventures. So I am going to edit a photo with you now. This is just a general how I would shoot, or I'm sorry, I would edit a photo where I've shot in full sun. So the first thing I'm going to do is put my white balance in auto, which I don't like, so I'm going to get out of that. And I might warm her up a little bit on her skin. I'm going to play with the greens here in a minute. So right now I'm just looking to see if her skin is kind of the right color. Now she is bright. She is not blown. It looks like I blew a little bit of highlights right here. So I probably should have been a little more careful, but her skin is okay. I'm going to pull the highlights all the way down, and I'm going to pull the shadows almost all the way up. I don't, for whatever reason, I don't like it when it's 100%, so I tend to just go around 90. And I'm also going to pull the exposure down to the whole image. The next thing I'm going to do is use a radial filter, and again, on her, I'm going to pull the shadows all the way up, close to all the way up. I'm going to pull the highlights all the way down. And you see how that's starting to kind of even her out just a little bit. I might pull the highlights back up just a little bit. And again, I'm going to pull the exposure of the whole image down. Now, I want to make sure that she is the brightest spot of my image so that our eye goes directly to her. So I'm going to put another radial filter here, and I'm going to click to not invert this one. I'm going to feather it all the way. And we're going to pull the exposure down around her a little bit just to make sure that she pops. So she's the first thing that you see when you look at this. Now I might pull the exposure back up on her a little bit. Not that one, we want this one. Okay. Pull those highlights down again. We don't want to look like her skin is blown. Now I'm going to play with my greens in here. This is my import preset. It already has added plus 33 on the hue of this green channel. It makes those greens look a little bit more like, I don't know, I mean cool. It adds blue to the greens so they're not so yellow. I'm also going to play with the luminance here and see if I like it better with them a little bit brighter, a little darker. I think I like just a touch darker because it makes those greens look a little bit deeper. And then the other thing I'm going to do is pull the saturation down a little bit on the greens and see if I like that. All right, I think that looks pretty good. I might go in the red channel here and see if we can play with her dress a little bit. I like it a little pinkier. All right. And that is probably where I would leave that one, friends. So thank you very much. I appreciate you taking the time to listen, and I look forward to seeing more of your FullSun images on the P52 week's blog. Thank you.